Hi, I'm Dan. I'm an OpenSciEd facilitator and longtime storylines teacher. And in this video, we'll discuss Lesson 15, which is the final lesson of the C.5 unit. Let's talk about how we got to this point. So in the prior lesson, we figured out how radar charts and cost-benefit analyses and other tools like decision matrices can all help us evaluate different transportation solutions. We also thought about making these decisions as a multi-step process. So in this lesson, we're wondering how we can finalize this process and make transportation decisions that benefit our communities as well as the Earth. Let's look at the lesson overview. So this is a 2-day lesson. It's a putting the pieces together lesson. There's a little bit of preparation, just a little bit of printing, and then no hands-on investigations, no devices, no related videos. This is a 2-day lesson with 2 loops, one for each day. So in that first loop, students are going to complete their final design proposals using the feedback that they received on the arguments in the prior lesson, and then they're going to reflect on those design proposals. Here we figure out how we can combine our chemistry knowledge, engineering decisions, and prioritized criteria to create a final proposal. And then on day 2, we're going to clear out the driving question board, as well as take stock of our progress as a scientific community. And here we're thinking more broadly about how we can use chemistry and engineering to design solutions. And that is our major takeaway. We can actually use chemistry along with engineering thinking to design solutions that consider both energy and environment. Let's look at some key moments here. First, we're going to complete our final design proposals. Now, the arguments that students did in the prior lesson were really a formative assessment. Here is the summative assessment. We can take all that feedback we got and come up with something more final. This is also an opportunity for students to bring together science and engineering thinking from the whole unit. So as students develop these proposals, they're not just saying, here's what I want to do based on criteria and constraints. They're actually taking into consideration and explaining some of the science ideas behind it as well. Then in part 3, students are going to reflect on their design proposals. There's some individual reflection, as well as some class discussions with forward-looking thinking around how we could make our ideas a reality. So the goal here is not process. The goal is actually looking toward the future. What do we actually do to make some of this happen? Then we have another reflection in part 6. This is going to follow the closeout of the driving question board. And here, students are going to reflect on the project and unit from a process perspective, using their progress trackers, using the STAMP protocol, using their actual design products. And then there's going to be a class discussion on how we made progress in this unit and how, in general, what we figured out this year, how we can apply that to our lives. Let's talk some tips and tricks. First of all, there is no transfer task for this unit. The final design proposal and the STAMP protocol are the final assessment. So we're able to look at students' project with the proposal being the final product, as well as the STAMP protocol reflecting some of their process, and use that to evaluate students. And keep in mind that this is not just an engineering product. There is science thinking built into this design proposal, so it should also leverage some of their thinking from the first 2 lesson sets as well. Another tip, don't skip that final reflection in the scientist circle. Instead, if it's not quite resonating with you, make it your own. I think back to all the years where maybe I ended a class and it just felt weird at the end, perhaps often because it was seniors and they weren't there the last few days. And so it was just me and a couple of juniors, and we didn't have a great opportunity to, as a group, really come together and reflect on what happened in the class. But this is a real community building moment and a real moment to help students take away something for the future that will be useful for them, even if they don't pursue more chemistry studies in the future. In terms of personal glossaries, they're going to have to use the word trade-off. That's a term whose meaning we've encountered before, but it pops up again as well. And then finally, posters. There's the driving question board. That's something that we're going to close out for the year, as well as the community agreements, which students will reflect on. So thank you very much. That is the chemistry course. However, we've still got questions, right? In this unit, it's very likely that questions will come up about electricity because we're thinking about batteries in electric vehicles without talking about how they're charged or where the energy to charge them comes from. We're talking about nuclear fission with a focus on transportation, but acknowledging that's not actually how we primarily use nuclear fission. So there's a lot of remaining questions related to electricity, how it's produced, how we get it, how we take it around. And those are questions that we're prepared to answer in the first unit of the physics course. So the first unit of physics is how can we design more reliable systems to meet our community's energy needs? And hopefully students now have lots of questions that they'll be ready to answer in that unit. So thank you very much.